Okay, so before we get started, I need to show you where to access certain resources that we need for the project, and I also want to show you my environment setup if you want to follow the same setup that I have. So the first one is the GitHub code for the entire project. This will be linked up in the video description, but if you want to download it or go to the link directly, just go to github.com/divanov11/Django-2021. So this will be the latest code, any bug fixes. This will be all that code for the entire project. So if you want to download it, get it set up, check out what it looks like on your local machine, go ahead and do that. There will be instructions down here on how to actually take care of that. So in the GitHub repo, besides the final code here and something to reference here, there is going to be a very important folder, and that is this resources folder. So the resources folder, anything that we use inside of this course here, I will add in here. So make sure you download this code and extract it so you can always access it, because I will access the images in this code, any kind of filler data, and the actual theme that we will work with. So around video 8, I believe, we are starting to install a theme. So this is something that my designer built out. So in this theme folder, you're gonna see all these HTML templates. We're gonna need to reference these, so make sure you have that. And if you wanna follow along with the exact images I use, so logos, profile pictures, and so on, that will all be in here too. I'd highly recommend you use the images and then any filler data. So as we're rendering out filler data before we create our database, I will reference this file here. And this is just a Python list of some data for our projects. Instead of having to write all this out by yourself, you could just go to this code and use what I'm using in the video. So we also have something for our profiles, basically something to fill out our templates. So that's the GitHub repo. Again, that is the resources folder. I'm too zoomed in here. So resources, make sure you download it and separate it from your code just so you have access to it. So let's go ahead and look at our text editor. So if you are using VS Code, you can use anything you want. Sublime Text, I know a lot of people like that. I really like Sublime. I would recommend it. But if you're using that, Atom, or anything else, you don't have to follow this part. I just want to show anybody who's using VS Code who wants my setup how I have things configured. So VS Code is the text editor I will be using. And the first thing is the theme. So the theme I am using is OneDark Pro. So OneDark Pro, go ahead and go into here, extensions, type that in. And I absolutely love the theme. I just love the colors here. So if you want to follow that, everyone always asks for it. So there we go. And then we are also using something called Prettier. So Prettier here, basically when I'm coding and I save something, if my code is not fully formatted, it'll basically just fix the indentation for me by default and just make sure that my code is all lined up. So you're gonna see my code like jump a lot. That's usually because I'm hitting Control S as I code. So I'm hitting save, and that's just fixing any indentation. So for HTML, for Python, it does its best to actually fix your formatting. So super useful, absolutely love it. Now this last one is gonna be auto rename tag. So this is gonna be super convenient for our HTML here, but anytime we are renaming a tag, so you can see in this example, as we rename one, it's gonna auto fix the other one. So we don't have to go to both tags and fix them. It'll do it for us. So I would highly recommend you use this. It actually causes some issues sometimes because it almost works too well, but super useful. I'm not having to spend time writing out HTML. So that's my setup. Reference the GitHub repo, the resources. Make sure you have that downloaded. If you're using VS Code and you want my setup, go ahead and download this. Get this ready, and in the next video, we are starting to set up our project.